Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome to another bonus episode of Let's Play Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion. In today's video, we're going to be taking our Octoling that has made their way to Inkopolis and participate in the turf war battles here in Splatoon 2. Y'all know what time it is. It's Off the Hook, coming at you live from Inkopolis Square. Check it, here are the current regular battle stages. So right now in the rotation, we got Arowana Mall and the Reef. The pigeons here are really aggressive. They always try to bite my hair. And these are the current ranked battle stages. Right now we got Anchovy V Games and Inkblot Art Academy in Splat Zones. I wish Krusty Sean ran the cafeteria here. Yes! Krusty Sean makes the best deep fried waffle monstrosity. And then here are current league battle stages. Things we're not going to be looking at, as this Octarian is going in solo. Hey kids, if you get lost in the park, go to the main office and ask for help. Sounds like you speak from experience. And that's all the time we got. Until next time, don't get cooked, stay off the hook. So, now that we have access to the Octoling here in Splatoon 2, I figured it'd be very fitting for us to end our adventure by playing all of the different multiplayer modes here in Splatoon 2 with our said Octoling. And for me, this is one of the best times to do so, because at the time of recording this, we are a week away from the launch of Splatoon 3. So this, in my opinion, is going to be probably the best time for me to be playing online with a huge amount of people until the next game comes out, and then everyone moves on to the next game of the franchise. So we're going to be jumping into regular battle here, playing Turf War, playing every single one of the ranked battle modes, and even checking out Salmon Run, all in this said video. So without any further ado, let's jump in to the Turf War battle. Here we are in the Reef, the brand new stage featured here in Splatoon 2, and a stage we have seen in the main single-player campaign of Splatoon 2. So it's a stage I'm pretty familiar with. Since we are playing Turf War, our goal here is just to ink the floor with the most amount of our team's paint. So we want as much pink on the field as possible here. So there's really not much different in terms of us covering all the multiplayer modes here in Splatoon 2, as I have made videos for every single one of these modes in the past in this said multiplayer series for the Let's Play. So if you want to check those videos out, check out the Splatoon 2 Let's Play playlist, and that's always going to be featured at the end slate for every video, so check that out if you want to see more in-depth coverage for these multiplayer modes. Only getting one game in per multiplayer mode here is going to be a good amount of time for our Octarian to shine before moving on to their next adventure, which will probably be into our next game in the series, Splatoon 3. So here we already know the goal. We want to just ink up as much as possible, so I'm just going to try my best to just kind of cover things up to get my special so we can use 10 missiles, as that'd be a great way for us to cover the ground really fast. Looks like all my teammates just died, but one of them is still alive over here in the corner. I'll use that to my advantage to jump back, climb up this wall here, try to flank him if possible. Yep, there's one of them, and then someone was in the corner with a bomb. Okay, that would have been nice to know before I jumped. So far, it looks like the opposing team is getting a lot more kills in than inking the ground, so they're trying to push us all back and then take a big push near the end, which is a really good idea, to be fair. We just gotta be careful. Oh, they got ink armor. This is really bad. Didn't really have enough time to jump. In that situation, I would have rather jumped back to base, but they didn't really give me much of an opportunity. Here it looks like it's probably just better to swim back to center instead of jump to our teammates because of how everyone is dying all the time. Probably not the best move. I don't see anyone around here except this guy here is in the center. Maybe I can use that bomb, there we go, to push him towards me. This one's jumping down. I do see a Booyah bomb. Looks like it's just being covered at the enemy base, so that's safe for us. Let's use 10 missiles here. Throw a bomb. Maybe I can bait this guy into a corner we can shoot. Fortunately, that's not the case, but he's not coming towards us, so we're okay. So, my weapon of choice here, as we can see, is the Kenza Splatter Shot simply just because of its pairing of Suction Bomb and also the Tenta Missiles. It's a really good pairing here if you really want to cover the most ground in Turf War. One of my favorite weapons to use for the set mode. So this is helping us at least cover a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. And my main specials here, like my hat has a lot of special charge up, so we can just get ourselves Tenta Missiles as fast as possible. In a game mode like this, it's really, really helpful to have as many Tenta Missiles as we can get. Here I do believe we're just about covering the entire map, putting them closer to danger. So I'm hoping that means that my team wins this battle. And that's a lot more pink than blue on the field, so I do believe we won this game. Yeah, there you go. A little bit dangerous at one point for us. We almost did lose everything, but we did not. In fact, we came out on top. Didn't really get that many kills, only got 2, but I was the MVP when it came to covering ground. They definitely killed us a lot more, but it really does show. Killing in this mode really doesn't matter as much. So, that was Turf War. Now let's move on to our next game mode, Splat Zones. Alright, here we are in Splat Zones playing on Anchovy V Games. I changed up my loadout, my weapon, but also my design. We are now playing as the Octarian boy. I want to give all of the Octarian designs a time to shine here in the 7 multiplayer modes, so I'm going to be changing up my design in between every single game here. So, let's go ahead and make our way to the center and get things started here. Splat Zones, if you have not seen this before, the main objective here is to cover the center point in your color of ink and hold that point until your remaining time hits 0. By doing so, you will win the game. It's a very back and forth thing. Think of this as King of the Hill and any other shooter as you're trying to hold that said hill. Right now, we have the advantage as we just took the lead. So if we can keep that lead up, then we can push these points very far down. If the team does take advantage of the point here and take it into their control, we will get a penalty time on top of the remaining score we have, so that way we don't just instantly win if we take it right back. It's a good way of balancing Splat Zones here, making sure one team doesn't have an advantage over the other. I did see someone around here. I'm going to get hit by the Tenta. Yeah, I couldn't get away from Tenta Missiles in time. That was an unfortunate situation. I did distract those players for a little bit. So they just took control of the point, which means we got a plus 42 on the penalty. It's a good amount of penalty. But we can easily chop that down if we take control for a long amount of time. Unfortunately, right now, though, they're knocking out pretty much every single person that gets close. As we're jumping in, this is a perfect time to mash that booyah. Call it in. All right, that guy's down. We got a booyah coming into the center. Throw a splash wall in the middle of that. Why not? Make it a little bit harder for them to shoot past. I'm going to booyah over into where I'm seeing all them super jumping. That way, they won't be on that ledge. And now my teammates probably going to do the same thing with their booyah bomb. Throw a wall here. That way they can't snipe us. Here, booyah on the other side, so get away. This is pretty much what Splat Zones is. Just kind of go back and forth between the main objective here and then push the opposing team away, doing what you can to keep them at bay. So far, we're doing pretty good to keep them from taking the lead. We did get a little bit of a penalty added back on when they did take control, but nothing too major. That guy thought he was going to super jump camp all of us, but instead he got annihilated, so that worked in our favor, not his. I do see you, and I will kill you. Now, unfortunately, I hit the sign because of the bobbing animation that I have here. That was unfortunate. Get away, put down a wall. We got control again. So this is a very back and forth game. They're very close, but so far, we still have the lead. I got rid of Tiff. Unfortunately, Pepsi got me. It's always Pepsi, I swear. Maybe Coke will have the advantage one day. That was a really bad joke. Let's just get back to the center if we ever made it. I see one of them has an ink jet, and also Tenta Missiles are launching on the field. Use this to our advantage, because so far, with that shield up, they couldn't do anything about where we were, which is very helpful. I thought I had my booyah bomb for whatever reason. Everything's happening at once is very easy to kind of cross your wires. Now I have my booyah bomb, so let's use it. I'm going to throw it right on the ledge where I saw the splatling. Take him out, which is very perfect. He was trying to get away. Did not work out. Tiff is down. We're doing really good here. Now we can start making that push into the enemy base to take out some of the enemy. I say as I immediately get annihilated by Pepsi. really bad. They did the burst bomb into a shot trick there, which is really good to do a lot of chip damage on your opponent. I do hear a booyah, and it's against us. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in their favor. Gonna throw down a wall here in case the inkjet starts aiming my way, but it looks like he got taken out, so it didn't really matter. Take rid of the Splatling. I got the guy super jumping in. Pepsi got me again, but it didn't matter when I took out the guy super jumping. And with that, we have won. All we need to do is keep the enemy team at bay, and we are chalking down those points really fast. It's a really solid game of Splat Zones. Pretty back and forth near the middle of the game, but we did a good enough job taking control for a majority of the time to really chip our points down. That was a really solid Splat Zone game. My favorite ones are games like that where it goes very back and forth and they're very competitive. But yeah, that was Splat Zones, the first of our 4 ranked battle modes. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next one to line up, Tower Control. Alright, our next game in the rotation here is Tower Control on Moray Towers. Swapped out all my loadouts and my Octarian back to the female design, this time with the ponytail. So hard to notice with the hat on though, but hey, you can kind of see it in the back. Those 0.5 seconds I'm not in my ink. So let's go ahead and rush this tower. I'm coming in here using the NZAP 85 simply because this weapon is one of the more comfortable weapons I have for being the guy riding the tower, as this is a really good defensive weapon for the tower in my playstyle specifically here. I say as I ran right into a bomb. That was a really great time for that. I like using the NZAP here because of good coverage along with some good killing potential, but also having the special of the ink armor in this kind of situation helps at least give me a little more time on the tower and save for my teammates. Unfortunately, it looks like we got a team wipe, so we're not going to be making much progress here, and in fact, it's going to be the exact opposite. We're going to push ahead now on our side of the base here. So let's go ahead, throw something at the tower, trying to push them off. Didn't kill anyone there, but they did get off the tower momentarily. Hopefully should buy some time for my teammates. I'm gonna go ahead, jump over here to the right side of Moray. Get ready to help my teammates push further ahead. It'd be helpful right now if I can get my special up so we can have some ink armor ready to go. So I'm gonna now just kind of turf around the area, try to see if we can get something up. Gonna hope my teammates can survive long enough on the said tower. Use the ink armor, play a little defensively until it activates, get on the tower. At this point, since no one else is here, I can push this past this checkpoint if I play things safe. Got a teammate jumping to the tower here, so as soon as he gets on, I'm gonna go ahead and just move off for a minute. Got a splashdown that took out 3 people at once. That was one of the most effective splashdowns I've seen in a long time. I don't know why we were all clumped in the same area on that front. That was a really bad play by my other teammates. I needed to be on the tower. That made sense. And I was trying to get off. Didn't have enough room to move. The other 2, you got me there. They really shouldn't have been on the tower or around the tower at that point. This is kind of one of the issues tower control can have every once in a while. It depends on the teammates you get for how this mode can go with synergy. And a lot of people, when they play tower control, either rush the tower or they don't ever get on it. So it's one of those situations where I really just have to hope my teammates know what they're doing when they get close to the tower. And as of right now, I'm getting a little concerned of that because we just now lost the lead. The green team is starting to push forward. Okay, we got a bomb rush on the tower itself. I'm going to go ahead and jump down now, take control of this for a minute so we can start pushing it back to the middle. And at this point, you got to push ahead a little bit. The tower will move back on its own. We want to get this to the other team's side before the end of this game to get our knockout. So let's activate ink armor here as we now just took the tower. I do see this guy up here. My roller friend took care of him, which is very helpful. I see someone on the ink rail. I'm going to go ahead and shoot you. Luckily, I didn't make my kill, but someone else got the kill on my team. Got a roller over here. Unfortunately, it's a flingza. I'm going to cry ouch here to let my teammates know I did get attacked. And jump back in. Hopefully no one was around the super jump point. At this point, we are taking control of the tower, and this is a pretty good push. I'm going to keep my distance from the Tenon missiles. Tenon missiles are a good way to force us off the tower right now, but we can still get right back on it. Fortunately, lost my life there because of the Clash Blaster. That makes a lot of sense. Clash Blasters may not one-shot you, but they can still kill real fast. Jump back in, and immediately throw a bomb. Try to push these guys off the tower if at all possible. Looks like no one's here anymore. They were pushing, so there's got to be somewhere nearby. Gonna activate the sync rail to make sure no one else can use it. Clash Blaster's up above. Let's see if I can throw a bomb to throw the guy off this path. One's jumping in with a splashdown. That made a lot of sense to do at the time. Gonna move away, use our ink armor here, take care of the roller, get back on that tower now. We've gotta make a big push. Alright, that guy on the ink rail is defeated. Let's get back on. At this point, we want to play things as defensively as possible. Even if we don't get the knockout at this point, if we can just take the lead, even for just a little bit, we will win this game. So we want to be able to push further ahead and hope we get the lead here in the next couple seconds. A little risky for multiple people to be on the tower at this point, but now we just took the lead. So no matter what happens now, we win the game. As long as we make sure that the opposing team doesn't push ahead in overtime. If they get the tower, they can push this game into overtime, which gives them an extra chance to gain more points, possibly to win. But they didn't get the tower before the end of the game, which means we win. That was a pretty back and forth game there, but at one point it was really risky for us. We were definitely losing a lot of momentum past the halfway mark, and it was honestly an uphill battle up to the very end. We did a really good job pushing back with that tower. Very happy with that game, and I'm surprised to not really see any chargers on this map. Moray Towers is very known for being the sniper-heavy map, so I'm lucky that this game didn't have any snipers. So let's go ahead and move on to our next rank mode battle, Rainmaker. Alright, we're here in Rainmaker playing on Schellendorf Institute. Changed up my loadout, changed out my Octoling to the boy design, now with a nice old afro. And let's get ourselves into the game. So in Rainmaker, our goal is to get that said Rainmaker weapon over to the opposing team's base and dunk it down into their area. So in this game, we're going to want to play as aggressive as possible here. I go ahead and throw down Inkstorm just to kind of push them back. Let my team get the said Rainmaker as I am playing a Splattershot Pro. So I'm going to be one of the more aggressive players on my said team here. My goal is to try to keep my teammates defended as much as possible and push into the enemy base. It looks like the enemy team has grabbed the Rainmaker and now they're pushing over to our said base. They have taken the said lead and are trying to get around the corner, but looks like my teammates took care of the Rainmaker guys. So at least for now, they can't make any more of a push. I'm going to go ahead and jump to one of my teammates. I believe I just jumped to where the Rainmaker was. Sure enough, that's where I landed. So let's go ahead at this point and not go to where the Rainmaker guy is, because that will be a major problem. Let's just stick down here for now. Got a team member on the opposing side being tracked. Fortunately, the blaster got me there. A ranged blaster is a pretty powerful weapon, so I can easily get blindsided by that if I'm not careful. I got the Rainmaker over into the top portion here. That's pretty close to our base. I'll open that shield. I did see someone down below. Sure enough. Actually, there's two of them. I was not expecting to run out of ink at that time. That was very unfortunate. Gotta keep a better eye on that ink take. Splattershot Pro takes up a lot of ink, and I don't really have that many main saving or even ink recovery ups on this set kit of mine. I have just enough stuff on here to really make the most out of the weapon's strength. But in terms of recovering ink or saving it, yeah, it's not really all that great. My team has taken lead, pushed over into the opposing side, which is really good. I don't think my other team member is going to really last that much longer, so it's best not to super jump to them because that will make things really problematic for us here. We got someone jumping around to the edges here, so mark those targets. This is very unfortunate. They're still up above. Hopefully my team members don't get blindsided by the bombs. They're trying to push ahead here, making a really good push into our base area. There's a lot more blue ink than our yellow ink around the area, and that's not great. So at this point, we're going to want to play things a little more defensively to get this close, because they have a really good path to get into our area. Got some bombs over here. I'm not going to get into the Rainmaker zone. And now we'll grab the said Rainmaker, as now it seems as safe as possible. Got someone coming towards me up above, so I gotta drop down. Please don't notice me. This is a really bad spot to be in. Wasn't really the most ideal thing for me to have the Rainmaker if I wanted to get out of our base. There were too many people nearby, so I was afraid of someone being able to grab the said Rainmaker before it would have a chance to reset. Leave the Rainmaker alone long enough on the field, it can reset back to the middle. So that was something we could have tried doing if it was one of those situations where there wasn't as much of a path for the enemy to get into our base, and they were all kind of surrounding the area of the Rainmaker. Looks like they have the Rainmaker once again, but immediately drop it, so that's a really good thing for us. Gotta still be really careful, because even though we are ahead right now, the enemy team could just make a really good push and gain a massive amount of points in only a handful of seconds, and then take that lead themselves. So at this point, let's try to be careful here. I'm gonna go ahead, throw down the Ink Storm, ink up around the Rainmaker zone, throw down a point sensor to mark one of the opponents. I do see you going towards my friend. Unfortunate time with the bomb. If I had a little more time, I could have got away, but I got stuck in enemy ink. Looks like the enemy got it once again, but I can super jump this time around to a teammate, and hopefully I should be okay. Never mind. He spawn camped me on that one. That was a really bad time for me to jump. I don't really like jumping right into the middle of the action, but that's one of those situations where it looked like it was safe until I was ready to hit the ground. Balance out their shots at my own for the Rainmaker shield. Let's stop shooting at this point. Take care of the Splatshot Jr. coming my way. Do not grab the said Rainmaker here, as that will be problematic. Make sure no one else can grab it on their team. And now my teammate got it. This is really good. All right, let's go. I can ink him up a path, but that's unfortunate. Looks like he got clipped by one of the bombs. I did see that guy up above. He did seem to not jump down from the area, so at this point, it looks like we're best off playing more defensive because we only have a handful of seconds left, and the only way the opposing team is going to take this is with overtime. So we got to just take out the Rainmaker guy. The moment this guy dies, then that is game. As soon as I say that, too, he immediately got splatted. So, hey, it worked for us. That is a win in my books. So far, we're doing really good on these games. We won every single one from in a row. I'm getting really nervous for the last rank mode type we have, as the next and last rank mode type that we have coming up is probably the hardest one in the entire game to play in solo queue. So here's hoping we get a good set of team members for that one. So now our Rainmaker done, let's go ahead and play our final ranked mode here in Splatoon 2, Clam Blitz. Alright, here we are in Clam Blitz playing on New Albacore Hotel. Swapped around all my loadouts and ready to play. This game better be worth it because it took me about 4 minutes to queue into it. I am not even joking on that one. This game is a very long time coming, to say the least. So, Clam Blitz, we need to go ahead and grab 10 clams, and when we do so, we will make a giant football. The goal is to take our clams and put it into the enemy basket. We want to go ahead and put as many clams in there as we can to knock them out. But in this mode, it's really hard to get the knockout. It's a thing I honestly don't see happen all that often, especially in solo queue. This mode is one of the most important modes in Splatoon 2 that have a lot of good coordination. And unfortunately in the solo queue, it doesn't really happen as much as you would like. So you gotta play things very, very smart. So in this regard, I'm gonna try to do things very specific. So I just ran in with the baller, super jumping to my teammate. I pushed my way over to the enemy base and got us some points. That is one of my strategies I like doing in Clam Blitz. Running up with the baller is one of my favorite things to be able to do, simply just so I can go ahead and get some free points while also protecting myself in the process. If the enemy pops your ball, then you actually keep the clams you have collected on you, which is a fantastic thing for just pushing into the enemy base while keeping clams. If you destroy the baller on your own and pop your own ball, well, simply put, you're going to be dropping all your clams, and that could be a pretty devastating thing in certain circumstances. So you got to know how to play with your specials in this. It really does help. So here, I'm going to go ahead, grab me more clams, and now I'm going to flank around the corner here. All my team is going in one area. Unfortunately, I held the button a little too long. I want the duck just for a split second around that grate. just to kind of avoid enemy shots. I held it a couple frames too late on that one, so that wasn't the best idea. Super jumped right into an enemy attack, also not the best idea. But so far, we're the only team that scored. I see a teammate on my map throw back one of the power clamps back into our base area, which was a really smart thing to do. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one and do the same thing myself. That way we keep this power clamp on the map. So the custom Hydra Splatling got me, which is not great. And also now, looks like they're gotten into our base and they broke open our barrier, which is really not good either. So this is their chance to gain the lead, and unfortunately for us, they just took it. So at this point, we want to go ahead and just push them out of our base. Looks like no one else is here, so that's a good thing. Now we got a clan of our own we can use. I'm going to just hold off on that clan for the moment, as that's something that we probably want to go ahead and save for when we're ready to make a big push, as that clan will never despawn. Be very careful around here. I do see an opening, so I'm going to go ahead and rush through now with the baller. This way, everybody. Follow me. This is our time. You gotta be kidding me. The second I get over here, they got into our base. Oh, that's some bad timing. So, the plan there would have really worked out in our favor if they didn't start scoring points, because immediately, as soon as we get to the base, then obviously I can't score any points when their basket goes up because of our basket being the one that's now vulnerable. So, that's another thing. When one team is scoring, the other basket is out of range, so you can only really do so much with that. That was a really bad situation. Honestly, there's really not much I could have done in that one. That was just kind of a mess. I honestly shouldn't have super jumped to my teammate when I did. I was just trying to get out of harm's way, but then I kind of put myself in a worse situation. Got a roller here. Gotta take care of him before he takes care of me. Got a minute left on the clock. It is still possible for us to take this back, but it's gonna be really hard to do. We got an enemy in our base breaking open the barrier, which is not good. I gotta get back to the base. Scored some more points, down to 37 now. So if we do take this back, we gotta get a huge push of points near the very end here. Gonna go ahead, super jump to a teammate here in the center, and I'm gonna immediately go into baller. Unfortunately, the sneaking end zap got me. I was in mid-animation too. Very close to activating. Popped open their barrier. That's really good if a teammate can stay nearby for just a little bit of time. I'm going to grab us a power clam here. We're going to throw in as many points as possible, take the lead, and now all we got to do is play things defensively to win this game. So this here is the comeback of the century. This is what we're wanting to have happen. This is the perfect scenario for us. So at this point, all we gotta do is take out their power clams, and that's pretty much it. So any power clam they have collected, we're gonna need to destroy. Make sure none of them get to the basket in question, and that is gonna be game. Just splatted two of them right there. Can we get a third? We didn't get the third, but we broke their barrier, so it didn't matter. So there you go. That is Clam Blitz in the books. All the rank modes we won, and honestly, this is the one I was the most concerned about, due to this one being, out of all 4 rank modes in Splatoon 2, the hardest one to win in solo queue. This one is a really good team coordination mode, really helps have voice chat, and I didn't have any of that in this, so kind of a scary mode, but we came out on top. So there's one more multiplayer mode left for us to look at, and that is over in Grisco Corp. So let's go ahead and make our way over to Grisco to play some Salmon Run. Alright, let's go ahead and make our way over to Grisco Corp, because it's time for us to play some Salmon Run. Oh. Guess they're not open yet. Well, time to wait until it opens.
The next day.
Y'all know what time it is. It's Off the Hook, coming at you live from Inkopolis Square. Boss Salmonites are so afraid of me, they don't even try to attack me. Either that, or you're so short that they mistake you for a chum. Sick burn, Marina. Sick burn. And that's all the time we got. Until next time, don't get cooked, stay off the hook. So I only had to wait like an entire day, but now we can go ahead and play ourselves some Salmon Run. This is the one thing I'm super glad that they changed for Splatoon 3. Making it so that this mode is 24/7 instead of just rotating out every couple hours is really helpful. Right on time, kid. I got work for you. So today's stage is Ruins of Arc Polaris, and we got ourselves a splatter shot, a ballpoint splatling, a rapid blaster, and a mystery weapon. That could be anything. So let's go ahead and jump to the freelance mode here and start our shift for today. Alright, it's time for us to go work here on the Ruins of Arc Polaris. Jumping in, I'm curious to see what kind of weapon we have to start off the round here. Get a little concerned when I see that long of a pan, and I'm hoping no one disconnects here. Good, we got a rapid blaster. This is not a bad weapon to have right now for this kind of a mode. It's getting dark, so it looks like we're going to have one of the harder modes to start things off. Mothership. Okay, we're going right on into the big shots here. So, Mothership, we are going to be looking for eggs falling from the sky in these containers. Want to go ahead and shoot them down before they hit the ground, because that will mean enemies will start appearing out of these crates instead. I'm going to go ahead and get this egg, I guess, aim up the side of the wall here to get back up to the top. Mothership is moving to the egg basket, so we got to get ready to attack that. I can get up. There we go. Throw this down so we can take their little chum around me. And the Mothership is moving in. While it's getting closer, because my range isn't the best with this blaster, I might as well take care of some enemies. Now, let's go ahead and attack the Mothership. I don't see anyone with the Stingray attacking this thing, though. This is how we get a lot of eggs right now, but unfortunately, my teammates may not know this, and I have Splashdown, so I can't really make use of my special when the Mothership is close by. This is a good crowd clear special, so for something like the Mothership, not really the most helpful thing at the moment until we get swarmed by enemies. Take care of you guys, get rid of this container, even though it doesn't have an egg for us anymore. We gotta get rid of the chunk coming out of it. We have met our quota, which is really helpful, so at this point, we mainly just want to go ahead and defend our base. We don't want the Mothership to steal all of the eggs back, so I'm gonna go ahead and climb up now, get myself back up top, and get ready. Everyone come on back to the base. Oh, Stingray's being used. My teammates do know how to use this tech. Thank you, teammate. This gives us a lot of eggs. Would have been helpful when the Mothership was on its way the first time, but hey, it's helpful now to kind of boost our numbers near the end. I'm not going to get back with this egg, so I might as well kill the little chum around me, and that's wave 1. Perfect. This is really good news for me because so far all of our team members are still here in the game. I've already done a couple shifts already because I'm having the worst luck keeping teammates in this game for some reason. Everyone just keeps on leaving in the middle of wave 1 or even at the beginning of the wave. So yeah, so far this is already my best game today. Let's go ahead and use our ballpoint splatling here to take care of this eel right away and now get rid of that stinger. You're getting overwhelmed, teammates, so let's go ahead and help you out. Looks like our slosher is down, but someone else got them. That's good. I thought I had an egg for some reason, but to be fair, I was getting overwhelmed over there, so it's probably better not to stay in that area and just snipe this guy from a distance with my splatling. This guy's weak from behind, so let's go ahead and take advantage. Grab an egg, throw it into the basket. I'm going to throw a bomb over here to hit maybe one of the chum, or the water, you know, that also works. At least the mall's taken care of. Grab these eggs here, charge up, get rid of you. I do see another mall in the base. Good, teammate got him. I was worried that the teammate got eaten by the mall and not attacked it, so that's good he did take care of the said mall. Or she. I couldn't really see which Inkling or Octarian that was. One thing that's nice about this game when it got updated for playable Octolings, I haven't mentioned it up to this point, but in all the multiplayer modes, you can look at the player icon to see who is playing as what character. You will be a squid if you're playing as an Inkling, and you will be an octopus if you're playing as an Octoling. It's a nice little attention to detail just to see the HUD change based on your player, too. Careful here not to stay in the rain too long, as that will kill me after a while. If I can get rid of this. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Sounds like all my teammates are down, but they'll be okay. Go ahead, grab this egg, get back to base, and with that, 28 out of 14 eggs for wave 2. That's more than enough to meet the quota. So let's get out of here. Start our final wave. Got the splatter shot. Okay, that's pretty helpful. I'm really good with the splatter shot here, so this is going to be a really helpful weapon for me just to kind of move fast. We got mid-tide here, so it's going to go ahead and ink up everything to get around all the edges of the map here. And it's just a standard boss Salmonite round to finish things off. Nothing too crazy. But since this is wave 3, these enemies are going to be even more aggressive than before, so we got to be prepared for anything here. Gonna get out of here before I get overwhelmed. Looks like one of my teammates is going for the eggs that I opened up from the Stingray. And we got ourselves some tenta missiles being shot off over here, so let's get rid of that said launcher. Took care of one of his baskets, that's good. I'll just take care of the other one here. There you go, shoots and scores. Take this ride rail to get back up to the base. This is one of the shorter ones, which is helpful for us to climb back up faster. Gonna drop off my egg here. Looks like there's some more stuff down below here. I'll go ahead and grab this. I do see a maw climbing up. It's actually one of those cases where I don't want to kill the maw if he's near me and try to bait him back to the base as long as it's safe enough to do. Because having a maw in the base while he's dead is more ideal than all the way down at the bottom of the map. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take care of this maw since he's right here. And there's another one. Oh, this is very interesting. Teammate, I gotcha. Okay, I missed, so maybe I don't got you. Gonna throw the bomb down. This time, actually get my aim just right. I still have my special, so I should probably be using that here in a minute. Sometimes I do feel it's just better for me just to kind of plow through all these enemies without using my special. And then sometimes it's probably just more beneficial if I use something, say like the splashdown right now. I'm gonna use splashdown here just to make sure we're good to go, and that's it. We did it. Final wave is cleared. Victory. 22 of 16 eggs for wave 3. That's the last of them. Now get back to the boats. Yeah, when I feel like it. I'm gonna just take a nice grind here around the area, and then jump back to the boats. That was a pretty good game. We didn't really get close to losing any of those waves. Wave 3 was probably the most scary in terms of possibly losing, because at one point we were getting up there on time while still being behind the quota, but we did it. And we got a pay raise for that, so that's good. And I got myself the clothing of the day, so that's really good. So let's go ahead and quit, because we're only here to work one shift today. So let's go ahead at this point and collect our spoils and call it a day. This Octoling has seen a lot of different multiplayer games. So let's get our rewards, as I did have to play some other games to find a full set of 4. I got myself 3 different rewards here. Ooh, interesting. They're all gear pieces. So I got a shirt here, which I'm not really the biggest fan of this polo. I'd rather keep my current polo as it has better loadouts. The shirt here, probably better for the run speed up. I'm going to just swap it out for cash at this point. And then I'm just going to do the same for the last thing. So pretty much everything, I'm just keeping all my original stuff. But yeah, there you go. That was Salmon Run and the final of all the multiplayer modes here in Splatoon 2. Our Octolings have made their way through all of the different multiplayer modes here in Inkopolis and got to play around with their fellow Inklings and Octarians in the land. But before we end our little journey here through all the multiplayer modes, there's one more thing I actually want to go ahead and talk about. So let's head back into the main lobby here for the multiplayer modes. So I'm here in the final Splatfest here that was hosted in Splatoon 2. This is the Chaos vs. Order Splatfest. And for this Splatfest, they made a special shifty station to close things out. This shifty station is based around the final boss fight in the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion. We can see off in the distance the Nil statue we were fighting as Agent 8 at the very end of the Octo expansion. And if we take a look around the map here, we will see hyper bombs being launched by Marina, which were the same weapons we used against the Nil statue at the very end of the Octo DLC. This is a really nice callback to the said DLC in Splatoon 2, and it was a great way to end this Splatfest in the said game itself. It really did help the Chaos versus Order theme to have the story elements of Octo expansion play out here in the very final event. And it was a very different stage compared to any other multiplayer stage we've ever seen in Splatoon 2. In fact, it was so different that it even reintroduced one of the specials from Splatoon 1. At the end of Octo expansion, Pearl uses the power of the killer whale to stop Commander Tartar from firing his laser and destroying Inkopolis. In this stage, Pearl also can use the killer whale here to destroy any Inklings or Octarians in your path, as long as you're the team that took control of the center point by the time Pearl was dropping down into the stage during the last minute of the turf war. This is a really, really interesting stage, and I know I did show this stage off during our multiplayer roundup videos a couple years back on this series, but I do want to give a shout out and a special mention to this stage one final time in the series, simply because of how big of an impact it was to Splatoon 2, especially with how big of an ending the Octo expansion is, and just seeing it now linked into the multiplayer mode of Splatoon 2. So, while Agent 8 may have taken care of Commander Tartar and his Nils statue, why not have Inklings now fight around that area where that said turf war happened, on the edges of Inkopolis? I wanted to go ahead and at least give a demonstration of this very special stage themed around the Octo expansion, so we're going to be playing one more turf war match here in the final Splatfest, Chaos versus Order. For this Splatfest, Agent 8 is kind of taking a rest at this point, as I didn't really play this stage as an Octoling during this event. I was mainly playing as an Inkling at the time when this specific stage was in the rotation on the final day of the Chaos vs. Order Splatfest. This was canonically the very final Splatfest that happened in Splatoon 2 and determined the story for Splatoon 3. This has kind of been a tradition for the Splatoon series. The final Splatfest in a Splatoon game would determine how the story progression of its next game would proceed. So, with Splatoon 1, the final Splatfest was Cowling vs. Marie. That dictated who was the main character that would lead Agent 4 throughout their adventure. And here with Chaos vs. Order, this determined just how the world would be structured for Splatoon 3. Since Chaos won, this is why Splatoon 3 is structured in the way that it is today. So, showing off how the stage works here, we have hyper bombs being dropped down from the heavens thanks to Marina. We want to go ahead and shoot these hyper bombs to ink around the area with its large shot radius. Think of these as giant suction bombs. These things take up so much of the map, and when you shoot them to make them explode, they cover a lot of ground in your ink, which is very, very convenient when enemies are nearby, because it almost instantly kills them. Think of it kind of like the Rainmaker shield when you pop it. It has basically the same kind of blast radius as the Rainmaker shield and does the same amount of damage to your enemies. But we're getting near the end of the said match here. We're just about at the last minute mark, and this is when things get even more chaotic here on this shifty station. At the last minute mark, this is when Pearl decides to jump into the battle and use her killer whale. So let's go ahead and take over that center point and have the voice to end all voices here drop into the center. Pearl, let her rip. Let's aim at our target and fire away the booyah. There goes our killer whale, taking out anyone in its path. And we actually got someone with that said shot too, so that's really effective. Seeing the killer whale come back for this specific stage was a pretty big deal, because killer whale was a special in the first Splatoon game. It did not return here in Splatoon 2, except for this one specific Splatfest in this stage. We've seen at the very end of Octo expansion, Pearl uses that killer whale for herself to destroy the laser being fired at Inkopolis, taking care of Commander Tartar once and for all. Now, with Pearl's help, we can use that power ourselves in Turf War. Only on this stage, sadly, but it's still a really, really cool thing. And with that, that is game. Looks like we covered a majority of the map, so it looks like my team has won this battle. That's a lot of ground covered, over 68%. Yeah, I'm very certain we won this game. That was a very solid round of Turf War, and a really good demonstration to how this final stage for Splatfest was designed. This shifty station out of all of them is the most unique in my opinion, and honestly a really great way to cap off this set event in Splatoon 2. So with that, that's everything I want to go ahead and cover here when it comes to the multiplayer modes of Splatoon 2 playing as an Octoling. I figured since now our Octoling has made their way to Inkopolis, they deserve some time to go ahead and play around these multiplayer modes before we close our chapter here in Splatoon 2. So, glad to be able to play the multiplayer modes here one more time in Splatoon 2 here on the YouTube channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed this ride, taking a look at all the different things that the Octolings can do when it comes to Octo expansion, but more importantly, just seeing the difference and just how lively the multiplayer modes here in Splatoon 2 really got when you added a whole new species to every single game mode type. It was a very nice addition to finally have a playable Octoling in the multiplayer mode, since this was planned all the way back in Splatoon 1 on the Wii U. Never happened in that game, probably due to time constraints, so it's nice to see playable Octolings are finally a part of the Splatoon world, starting here with Splatoon 2's Octo expansion DLC. But with that, that's all I got for you today, so thank you guys for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Samuel, those are words to live by. I feel that's a mood.